Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Let me get the first 10,000 of you who watched the video to click the thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't even matter. We just need you to interact with the video. Also, I've maxed out my credit cards and frankly, I just need you all to donate to keep the channel going, to keep me going, really. Something like $20 or $50, that'd be great. I'll put the donation tab in both in the information box and the first comment. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but Fox, two things is happening with Fox. Their viewership is drastically down. Because they let Tucker Carlson go, it just opened up, it just pulled a plug, and all of their viewership is just draining out of the bottom. Also, you may not know this, the shareholders, which includes BlackRock, are threatening to sue Fox News because they are losing money, which is crazy because, number 3, it was BlackRock that insisted that Tucker Carlson be let go in a secret office memo that was said. As far as we can tell, Rupert Murdoch actually did not care about Tucker Carlson talking about anything. There was the Dominion lawsuit, but they settled the Dominion lawsuit not because they were in the wrong, not because they thought they would lose the case. They settled out of court to the tune of $785 million given over to Dominion because the handlers of Rupert Murdoch, who was 92 years old, were afraid of what would happen if Rupert Murdoch was allowed to speak in open public, in court. So the risk of having Rupert Murdoch speak was greater than them paying $785 million to Dominion. Tucker Carlson was not named as one of the reasons for the Dominion lawsuit. Why? Because Tucker Carlson actually invited the people, or attempted to invite the people on who were saying Dominion was the one who was at fault for a faulty election. Tucker Carlson, for the record, and you can go look this up, never said anything about Dominion himself. He said he wanted the Trump lawyer to come on with verifiable proof for the claims that she was making. At no point did Tucker Carlson say anything about Dominion himself. So he was not a point of contention for Dominion. BlackRock did not want Tucker Carlson. BlackRock is also not only invested in Fox to the tune of $1.5 billion, but BlackRock is also invested in all of the weapons manufacturers in the United States. BlackRock did not want one of its assets, Fox News, although it doesn't own Fox News. They're just a shareholder, and they're not even close to being a majority shareholder. They are a very minor shareholder, but BlackRock also is heavily invested in Pfizer and stuff like that, who also sponsors Fox. So when you get into the web and pluck out a strand, you find BlackRock at the end of it, at the beginning of it, at the head of it, and at the end of it, you see a strand that leads to Fox. You look at advertisers, Fox, BlackRock. Weapons manufacturers, BlackRock, Fox. So you simply shuffle around the cards, turn them over, and you find BlackRock and Fox. So Tucker Carlson had to go, but now BlackRock is turning around and talking about suing Fox because as a shareholder, they're losing money because they let go of Tucker Carlson, and all of the viewership for Tucker Carlson is slowly getting the news that he is no longer with the network. Well, turns out that Tucker Carlson is suing Fox for breach of contract. With this breach of contract, Tucker Carlson announced that he is going to go to Twitter and do his show on Twitter because Twitter now has all sorts of things, not just tweets. They have rooms and they have profit sharing for creators. I haven't set it up on Twitter. I don't know anything about it. I have to research it. So he announced he was going to go to Twitter. That announcement was made during prime time, and it destroyed Fox News. So on Fox News, Tucker Carlson was getting about 3 million viewers, which is fantastic. When he made his announcement from his basement studio, he got something like 20-something million views. People watching him during prime time. Fox is down to about 1 million. CNN is actually doing better than Fox in some areas. Okay, we have that stage set up, right? So then comes President Trump. He does the CNN town hall. Of course, it gets more views than probably in the history of CNN. At least during the modern era of CNN. More views, more viewership, more eyeballs than ever, right? CNN got a W from Donald Trump being on CNN. CNN then had to underhandedly apologize for the W and then set up a double panel of people complaining that Donald Trump was on CNN. And then they proceeded to say, oh, he lied and lied and lied. All he does is lie. Literally, he caught the woman during the interview lying right on stage. He had receipts. He never said the words, you're a liar, but he said, you're a liar. Pulled out the receipts and said, that's not so. Let me show you. Here's the timeline. So that's the setup. CNN takes a big fat W for having Trump on their network. Forget all of the, oh my God, I can't believe CNN had Trump on the network. What they're doing is trying to milk the Trump appearance on CNN for all it's worth to try and keep viewers watching. Without Trump, nobody watches CNN. But wait, what about Fox? CNN is doing better than Fox lately. So CNN announces that they're going to carry the entire Iowa rally of Donald Trump, President Trump. Because of how good the viewership was on CNN, CNN is anti-Trump. CNN does not like Trump. CNN had most of its hosts who were never Trumpers. Now all of a sudden they're going to carry the entire Iowa rally. And there you have it. At the end of the day, money talks. They can say what they want to. They can complain. They say, oh my goodness, I can't believe he lied. They're just trying to milk the Donald Trump appearance for all it's worth. They have to appear to not like Trump. Remember, Trump was their darling before he came down the escalator. Trump was their darling before he came down the escalator. Trump was their darling before he came down the escalator. Who is they? I'm talking about all of them. Big fans of The Apprentice. Trump had worldwide recognition. And then he came down the escalator and put in his bid for President of the United States and the Republican Party. He had to be enemy number one. Because that's how the Democrats have made it in the modern era. Now you're not an opponent. You're not the opposition party. You're enemy number one. Everything you say is evil. Everything you say is a lie. You're racist. You're homophobic. You're anti-feminist. But I'm here to tell you, let me not lose this point. In the United States, only 8% of women claim to be feminist. That means 92% of women have a negative opinion of the word feminist, a negative opinion of the movement feminist, and do not ascribe anything that they have done, their mothers have done, their grandmothers have done to feminism at all. In fact, the chief opponent of the suffrage suffrage movement of women getting the privilege to vote. It's a privilege to vote. It's not a right to vote. The privilege to vote was women. In fact, there is now a movement to repeal the women's privilege to vote. The opposition to the LGBTQ, who's the chief opposition to that? Actual gay people. That's the chief opponent to that. Not straight people. It is the LGBTQ. They are against the activists. They are against the organizations, and they would wish they would shut up. Not so that they can go into the closet. They don't adhere to such trivial terminology. It's not about going into the closet, because straight people aren't in the open. Straight people are just straight. They don't have to come out to their parents and say, "Mom, Dad, I'm straight. I have a girlfriend." They don't have to. They don't have to do that. The opposition to the LGBTQ are the people who are actually gay and lesbian and what have you. They're not just opposed to it. They are vehemently opposed to it. But the news doesn't want to carry those people. Who's the chief opposition to trans? Trans people. People who are detransitioning. And since they lump them all together, people who are cross-dressers. No longer do you hear about cross-dressers at all. But there are many forms of cross-dressers, but they don't talk about them. And in fact, there are more cross-dressers than there are trans people. And in fact, the trans people a lot of the times are not cross-dressers. They just say that they're a woman. They just say that they're a man. They don't go out and buy anything different. No different clothes at all. This is how you can have a fully bearded man in the women's restroom, in the women's locker room, in the women's spa. The opposition to this are the actual cross-dressers, are the men who they're not trying to be women. They just like women's clothing, or they like women's perfume, or they like some aspect of woman, and they like it close to them. Those people are in stark opposition to the entire trans movement. It's not straight people. They've shamed straight people now for 20 years. The chief opposition to trans are trans people. The chief opposition to the LGBTQ are the LGBTQ people. There are people who say, "Stop, I don't want to be, you activists do not speak for me." And then you have people like me. I'm not woke, but I stand for justice, I'm not a social justice warrior. I stand for justice. The hardcore truth of justice. If you lie about a man, if you lie about what a man did, I stand in opposition to you. You're a liar. I will call you a liar. There is nothing that you deserve when you are a liar. Slowly, the mainstream media is now reporting that, maybe one or two women are actually lying. We have an entire family court system where the court gets money from alimony, child support. If the court gets money from alimony and child support, guess what the court is going to suggest? Divorce and child custody. Divorce means alimony. Child custody means child support. The court takes their portion out of that. Women haven't figured this out for some reason. There's a very famous woman who got a divorce after her famous husband came into some real money to the tune of $61,000 a month. She divorced him, then she sought full custody of the children. This is a famous woman. She does not have time for children. When they told her, she said, I'm going to get child support. When they told her all of the expenses of the child, and then what is left over after the court, the lawyers and the child representatives all took their cut, how much was left over, she was crying. Why was she crying? Because she thought she was going to get something like $61,000 a month. And no, she was not going to get $60,000. She was going to get what's left over after $2,000 a month. Now, for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. But the child is involved in activities and all sorts of stuff. Crying. Her lawyer was happy. Her lawyer was ecstatic because her lawyer is getting a portion of that $61,000 a month. He's in that cut. She's in the $2,000 a month cut. Destroyed her family. Ruined her children's lives because she got full custody. She doesn't have time for children. But the court is incentivized to promote divorce and to promote child custody. Destroy, destroy, destroy. That's a situation that we're in, and it is going to the nth degree under Biden. Biden is not good for television. Biden is not good for ratings. Biden doesn't take questions. Biden doesn't hold news conferences. You know who does take questions and holds news conferences and goes completely non-script? President Trump. Thank you all for watching.